Hello and welcome to Caring for Me, Caring for You, a thought and a prayer for the week. Today is Gratitude Sunday at the Marble Collegiate Church, and so we've been having a great many messages, well, all year long, but particularly the last couple of weeks, preparing us for what we call Gratitude Sunday, that opportunity for us to look forward, to look backward, probably looking backward first, and then looking forward to how we can be supportive of the church in the coming year and their many, many wonderful programs. And so gratitude has once again been filling my mind and my thoughts. I've actually had several conversations with people with whom I work privately on this very, very topic. Because for me, gratitude saved my life. And I'm going to share a bit about that with you a little bit later. It's an important word in this household, and it's an important word in my life. And so I wanted to spend just a little time this week. We'll talk about Thanksgiving next week as we prepare for the wonderful holiday that is ours here in America. But this week I'm using the word gratitude, being grateful for. I make it a habit never to get out of bed until I have loudly proclaimed, "This is the day which the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And I give thanks with gratitude." Gratitude plays a huge part because it sets the day for us. And I have found that no matter what is on the to-do list, if in the morning, and I can do it on the computer or whatever. I've actually got to do a do list on the computer, or I look at my schedule, for example, and I see things that are there. I no longer look at it and say, "Oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that and I don't got to do anything. I have the gift of doing. I have the gift of meeting with. I have the gift of calling so and so. I have the gift of working on this talk. I have the gift on working with this part of the foundation. I have the gift of doing. And wow, does that change my whole attitude? Yes, there are some things that are less fun to do. But even when I do the ironing, and yes, I'm the one in the household who does the ironing, I call it my pressing matters. But the truth is, I've learned to love that. And I tell you why. It's one of the times when I simply don't have to use an awful lot of thought to sit and iron the napkins or Donnie's shirts or his trousers or whatever. And it's a wonderful time to let thoughts go through. And I have always been someone, as I'm doing right now, who speaks from the heart. I don't use a written script. I would probably be terrible at it. I love words. I love to read things, but I would never give a whole talk on that because I want to speak from my heart to your heart. And if there's something I say that resonates with you, I give thanks because I feel your heart coming through to me. And I very much appreciate that. But doing the ironing, I can be working on any talk that I'm going to do, any paper that I may have been asked to write, any podcast, any sort of panel that I've been asked to. It's a wonderful time just to spend thinking about that while I do some things that are very necessary for us in our home. So there is a way of being grateful for it all. Now, I agree, there are some things that don't seem to be so exciting. Let's just be thankful for them because they lead to other things that make life quite, quite wonderful. And wherever we go, there's another corollary, literally, to gratitude for being grateful for going to this appointment or grateful for this. I can leave a footprint of love and gratitude. Because before I answer that call, before I write that email, before I enter a room, before I walk onto stage, I can take a moment to say thank you. bless us all, bless us all, and then go about my business to the best of my ability. But what have I done? I've set an energetic framework for what I'm about to do, what I'm about to share. And I don't forget, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. As a spiritual being, I've been sent here. I made that compact. And I'm here to do things that augment and bless the divine. And therefore, I let spirit come in and give thanks as I speak forward a message. Think about the footprint you're leaving and be grateful for it. Be grateful to have that opportunity. Now, recently, a very, very dear friend of mine, a man who has done extraordinary work in the LGBT world, is about to leave for Africa. He's leaving his home in New Jersey, and he and his partner are going to be traveling to Africa, where they have begun the Diamond Mine Foundation, and it is helping LGBT youth in very oppressed areas of Africa. And he wrote a lovely, lovely little letter to many of us. And I loved it. And I thought, I'm at the right time going to share it. And I want to share something very personal with you today, as friends, as family, as caregivers together. This was his letter. Dear friend, and I say it to you. As I write this, I'm feeling so much love. Love for the roads I've traveled, love for the people who walked with me, and love for you. Because at some point you have shaped this journey with your presence, and you have by participating in these broadcasts. He goes on. Whether it's been a few years or just a few days since we last connected, I want you to know you left your imprint on my soul. And today, I'd like to share something very close to my heart. And that's precisely what I want to do because, as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, gratitude saved my life. Now, as many of you know, because I talk about it openly, I am a very grateful recovering alcoholic of many decades. But getting to recovery was not an overnight success. I was not an easy one. I was not an overnight success. In fact, I affectionately, when I qualify, will talk about, which is giving a talk in an AA meeting, we call it a qualification, and I qualify. I auditioned for AA from 1983 to 1986. I was not a quick learner. During that period, I journeyed through 7 detoxes. And this was a very difficult and humbling experience. Because on the wall, I kept seeing God, and I'd been to seminary, and I knew a lot about the theological God. But I hadn't met the God really within me for many, many years. I had had that relationship as a young man when I was doing many things beyond my age musically and that sort of thing. God and I talked all the time. But then booze got in the middle. It was a different spirit. It was, as I like to say, the other spirit. And I knew that I needed to get rid of the one spirit in order to return to the original one. And so I did the things that were told. I went to meetings, but I wasn't getting it. And finally, after the 7th detox, I thought perhaps my only gift in life was I was to write a book on detoxes in the New York City area. Well, that wasn't to be my goal. But I finally had enough humility, and Joe was very supportive of this, as were many other friends. I went to Marworth in Waverly, Pennsylvania, an absolutely marvelous, marvelous addiction center, a rehab. And I spent 30 days there. I had a wonderful counselor by the name of Marilyn. And Marilyn, if you're hearing this wherever you may be, I'm sending you my love. She had been a musician. She was an alcoholic. All of us who were there, all in the staff, we're all in recovery, one day at a time. But I was having trouble. What wasn't I getting? And we began looking at it, going to meetings, having a sponsor, doing service, on and on and on. What was I missing? And one day there was a tape, and often that's what happens in various sessions that they do. And this tape was entitled Blame and Gratitude. And as I listened to it, I was overwhelmed as it came to an end. Because at the end, there was a poem that I knew very well, a poem that was written in a theater the day I sat there by the composer of that song. And it was later to be on the dressing table of the woman for whom he had written that. And this was the poem. A bell is no bell till you ring it. A song is no song till you sing it. And love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. For love isn't love till you give it away. And I broke into tears. I ran to Marilyn's office and I said, Marilyn, it's gratitude, it's gratitude, it's gratitude. I have been missing that. I thought I was thankful, but it wasn't sincere gratitude of life. And that day, I began something which, if you haven't done, I would invite you to consider. I began my gratitude list, and it's right back there in my Bible, right next to the bed. And after taping this broadcast, I'm going to write down the date, and I'm going to write down thank you with gratitude. I've had a gratitude list where I have written down every talk I have done, every service I have been blessed to do. I have written big things in my life and very small things, because the gratitude list, and I always look at it again and again and again, because it gives me strength, it gives me courage, it makes me laugh in many ways when I take myself so seriously. The first two things on my gratitude list. The first one, shaving with one hand. When you have the shakes, it's very difficult to shave. And as I was getting dried out in the rehab, I was able to shave. And the second one, this has always amazed me. In every detox I was in and at the rehab, they loved to serve soup. Now, if you are jittery, the only person who benefits from my soup are all the people at the table, because I'm totally able to get it up, unable to get it up to my mouth unless I pick up it with two hands and drink it. I've come a long way, but it's by the grace of my higher power and rooms of AA all over the world. As you know, I often say one of my greatest joys of going to Bali is 30 days of wonderful meetings set on the ocean. It's rather a beautiful setting and a great celebration. But whether it's a church basement, whether it's, I don't care where, when I walk into the room and I say, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol and our lives had become unmanageable, I'm home. I'm home, and I give thanks for each and every day, and I don't take it for granted. But I share this with you as we are preparing in this season of gratitude, because it made the difference in my life. It was that peace that said, yes, this is what sobriety is about. This is what life is about. Being grateful and living in an attitude of gratitude. So think about it. And thank you for letting me share this little piece, which is the core of my life. And now, as we prepare, I'm going to conclude this broadcast with that wonderful prayer, the Divine Prayer. So let's take a deep breath. Let's just take several deep breaths and go within to the divine, the Christ consciousness within you, the spark of the divine, that drop of water that is you, that love which is Christ within. Glorious source of all, in the gentle cadence of life's dance, from morning's first light to evening's soft trance, bless us with moments both humble and grand, and hold our endeavors in your gracious hand. For the blessings we see, the laughter, the joy, the moments so free, and for those noticed and unnoticed, those unnoticed silently sown in the background of life, quietly grown. Bestow upon us the gift of your sight, to recognize blessings hidden from light, in the kindness of strangers, in the tears that cleanse, in challenges that guide, and in love that mends. May our hearts be vessels overflowing with gratitude, void of any wrestles. For the abundance you give, both big and small, remind us to cherish, to honor them all. Grant us the wisdom to share and extend these blessings we receive as both giver and friend, to amplify goodness, to be your hand's extension, spreading love, hope, and joy without apprehension. In the canvas of life as blessings unfold, let gratitude paint stories brilliantly bold. May every heartbeat, each breath that we take, be a symphony of thanks for the blessings you make. Amen. And as we always say, onward in love and caregiving. Namaste. God bless. And I look forward to seeing you real soon. Have a great week.